Everybody, hello, welcome to the Purple Penguin Craft Room. I'm Vicky, and today's craft is going to be nautical themed. We're going to do something with this anchor. I got this actually at Dollar Tree last year, or for those of you watching this anytime, I'm going to say 2022 was a year that I got this at the Dollar Tree. So I'm sure a few of you might have in your stash, a few of you may not. But any kind of anchor would work for this project. I'm going to go ahead and I've got, I believe I had six paint stirrers. These are the paint stir sticks. I got them at Lowe's, but you can get them at any of the Home Depot, Lowe's, any of the hardware stores. I think even Walmart has them. These are the 12-inch ones. These are the 12-inch. I'm also going to be using some larger popsicle sticks, or they call craft sticks. So I'm going to use 4 of those. I'm also going to be using some nautical rope. This was also at the Dollar Tree. And they call it nautical rope cotton. This is the white nautical rope. We're going to be using some sand. So this is white sand. And then I've got a few paint colors, and these are blues. So I've got acrylic paint. This is Sky Mist. This is also acrylic paint, Ocean Blue. Also acrylic paint, Cobalt Blue. So I've got those 3 blues I will be using. I will also be using some Mod Podge. We got that going on as well. And then some simple things like, hot glue. I also recommend a tray. I'm going to be using a tray. This will help with the sand, collecting my sand. So this is simple crafting, nothing special. I don't have special effects or special music or anything. I will, however, kind of edit out a lot of the wait time, so that you're not watching me watch paint dry or something to that effect. I hope you enjoy this craft. Let me know what you think. Let's get crafting. Okay, let's get crafting. Where I put down, so this is just wax paper, kind of help contain some of the paint. We're going to go ahead with our craft sticks. These are the 12-inch craft stick, or paint stir sticks. Paint stir sticks is what these are. And if you ever notice on these, they have a ruler on one side and the other side is blank. So obviously keep in mind if you're conscious about the ruler part. So we're going to go ahead. First things first, we're actually going to, I want to go ahead and connect these before I paint them, just to make it easier to painting them. So I've got them all turned. So this is going to be my back side. So my back side, I want all the rulers. So all the rulers are on this back side here. We're going to line up the bottom as much as possible. Sometimes these don't line up very well. They are not always cut exactly the same. This is where the craft sticks or large popsicle sticks come into play. I want to go ahead and use these to connect the back. So it holds everything together. So we're just going to take our glue gun and make sure you get glue all the way down, because you want to hold all of them together. Make sure you get both sides. Okay, so we've got all the sides, all the back. This is what the back is going to look like. And this is the front. Now, on the paint stir sticks, you'll notice they have this notch here. So you can either choose to put them all on one side, like I did, or you could alternate them. totally up to you. I'm chose to put them all together because of the way I'm going to lay my stuff out. I want this to be at the top. All right. Now we're going to go ahead with we're going to go ahead and paint. For any of you that ever watch me do any of my crafting, I will show you what the paint color is, but typically I have my paint in little containers. These are little 2-ounce containers that I put my paint in, and I strictly do this just because it saves paint, because I'm not always putting it in a tray or using a plate or anything like that. However, if I'm going to be doing anything that's mixing my colors, and that is what we are going to do today. We are going to do layers. We're going to start with dark, medium, light, and we're going to go like that in an order. So I am going to go ahead and use my plate. You will not usually typically see me use a plate, just so you know. Typically, this is how you will see me ever use paint. Like I said, unless I'm blending, then I'm blending. I don't want to blend with my different paint colors. So I'm going to be using these 3. Again, this is, it's a matte finish, cobalt blue. This is Sky Mist. And this one is just an ocean blue. So basically, I've got dark, medium, and light. Dark, medium, and light is what we're going with. We're going to start with the dark. So I'm going to start with the cobalt blue. Go ahead. And then I've got, again, the ocean blue. I'm going to go ahead and get all my paints out. Just make this project a little bit easier. A little bit of a mess. And then the Sky Mist. It's basically light, medium, and dark. All right. Now I'm going to take a little bit larger of a brush. This is about a 1-inch brush. This is a larger brush. And we're going to start with our darker color. And we're just going to put it on here. And I do want to put it on a little bit heavy because, like I said, I do want to blend with the medium when that comes around, when we come a little bit farther down. And I will do that while it's still wet. So that's why I am going to go a little bit heavy for the blending. Now, if I had not put these together like I did at first, it would make it a little bit harder to do the blending in the individuals. So just kind of keep that in mind. If you just decide to just paint these whatever color you want, just keep that in mind. You may want to paint them separate or individual. It's totally up to you. Or if you're Mod Podging or anything like that. Now I'm just going to go right into the medium blue. And I did not wash out my brush so that I could blend them together. And if I get a few of the darker streaks in there, that's totally okay. I kind of might actually go back and put some darker streaks in, just so that it's not just a solid blue color. Okay, again, I'm not gonna put water on this or get a new brush. We're just gonna go right into the light. See, it is mixing a little bit here. Totally okay with that. In fact, I kind of like that, actually, quite a bit. Mix some white in there. All right, so then we've got our 3 layers. So we've got the darker to the medium to the light. All right, go ahead and let that fully dry before you do anything else. And when I come back, I'll show you the next step. Okay, I've got this is all dry, so we definitely want to make sure it's good and dry before we do anything else. Again, this is going to be my top, so it's the dark, medium to light. I went ahead and I had extra paint, so I went ahead and just painted the back as well, and that is also totally dry. But you don't have to finish your backs if you don't want to. Typically, I don't always finish my backs. Like I said, I had the extra paint already ready to go, so I just went ahead and did that as well, just so you know. All right, so now I want to go ahead, I want to stick my anchor on. Now this is a white one. It also came in blue, and I believe you can get anchors in like just a wood finish as well. Like I said, this one just happened to come this way. It happened to come with a string already on it as well, which I kind of like that. So I'm going to go ahead and leave that. This, again, is just a white wooden anchor. I'm going to go ahead and distress this a little. And by distressing it, I mean, I'm just going to kind of rough it up so that it's not such a solid, pretty white, you know, like it's never been touched before kind of thing. I'm just going to take my sanding block, and this is, it's a 120 grit. This is actually a Gator sander. I got mine at Lowe's. Apparently you can get them at, I've been told you can get them at Home Depot. I did not find any at my Home Depot, but that doesn't mean they don't have them. I've also been told Walmart carries them, or you can get them on Amazon as well. But they definitely come in handy. I absolutely love these. This is a squishy kind of thing, and it's small. It gets into all sorts of places. Absolutely love that. And these Velcro on and off for replacements. So it makes it really super easy to use. So let me go ahead and show you. So this is the roughed, and this is the plain regular look. So I'm going to go ahead and do this to where it kind of goes all the way around. And just kind of rough up all of it. Okay, so I've gone ahead and roughed that all up so that doesn't look brand shiny new or anything like that. We're going to go back and bring back our board here. And I kind of like, you know, it's totally up to you, but I like the anchors when they're kind of at an angle. That's just me. I've always kind of liked the anchors when they're at a little bit of an angle. So that's how I'm going to go ahead and do mine. A little bit of an angle. Like I said, I am going to put this on with the rope already on it, because I do like that. So that's where I'm going to go ahead and place it. Just going to put a generous amount of hot glue on here. And if I don't want this to flop around any, I can go ahead and glue that down as well. And I might as well just put a little bit get some. Just kind of hold it in there. Here we go. Looks great. All right, so now I kind of want a little bit of a sand look, right? I want a little bit of a sand. This is where my sand is going to come into place. And also, it's always good to kind of have a tray or a bucket or something to kind of control your sand if you want sand all over the place. We're going to go ahead and use Mod Podge. So this is the Mod Podge here. And again, I do the same thing with my Mod Podge and some of my Elmer's glue as well. And I just put them in these little containers. Again, that's just me. Just makes it a little bit easier for me to use. So we're going to go ahead, just get whatever kind of brush I can figure out what I want to get probably a bigger brush. I'm going to use a larger brush here. And basically I'm going to put Mod Podge all around where I want the sand to be, all around in the bottom here. And I'm thinking I kind of want to go in one direction just to kind of keep it all together. And before the Mod Podge, so you got to do this very quickly, before the Mod Podge dries is when you sprinkle on your sand. So you can go heavy with the Mod Podge just because it will dry quickly. Just a heads up on that. It will dry very quickly. And you can go heavy in certain areas too if you want like more sand to stay. Okay. So I'm going to leave it like that. Quickly just pinch some of my sand in here. I could just dump it, but I'm trying to some self-control. All right, so now we kind of want to tap that off a little bit, get all that extra off of there. There we go. And just kind of let that dry. And then we just take this, it goes right back in my container. This is actually a pan that I got from the Dollar Tree. It's actually a brownie pan, I believe is what it's called. And it works great for all my sand projects or collecting anything. These are always kind of handy to have around. Okay, so got my sand on there all dry and tapped off so I don't have any extra hanging on. We want to go ahead now. You know, I didn't show this in the beginning, but I did have just kind of an add-on, just some extra small little shells. I believe this was a trip I did with my family. We went down to Florida to visit some other family. So I believe that's where I collected these small little baby shells from. But if you're not too far from the ocean, you know, and sometimes Hobby Lobby has a nautical section. They might have some small little shells you can get as well. And I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to place these right down here in the corners. Just kind of give it a little extra. trying to be a little bit extra. Okay, so I've got the shells on there now, just to kind of give it a little bit extra there. And you can get like little starfish, you can do, I mean, little fish, or any little kind of things to decorate that. It's totally up to you. Decorate how you want to. Definitely make it your own. We're going to finish it off. You know, I wanted something around the top, right? So we're going to go ahead around the top. We're going to do the nautical rope to kind of finish her off. This will also kind of hide a little bit of, you know, we've got those gaps here. So that's just kind of, also we're going to do that. So it's going to look like that. Finish her off. And if I go ahead and I overlap this, I can go ahead and this can also be used as my hanger for being able to hang it as well. So go ahead, start here, I'm just going to do it at an angle. Make sure I have it in place here. Go ahead and get my bigger scissors here to cut this. Because I want this to be part of my hanger, I'm not going to glue right underneath here. I'm just going to glue at this end here. Now, what I like to do always in the back of my projects to make sure that anything that I'm using as a hanger stays in place to help give it a little more security. I always, for some reason, I always have extra felt laying around. I love using felt. I always have some extra laying around. And so I save my scraps. I'm going to go ahead. I might actually just use this whole scrap piece here. And I've got another one. And this one here. So, and that will kind of help kind of extra security. That. This one here, because it's going to cover both ends. Double security here. That way I have this piece right here so that I can go ahead and and use it as a hanger. And then we have it going across in the front. If I don't like, I mean, I'm not going to glue this down, but if it doesn't stay in place, I can always glue this down as well. At this point, you can also, if you want to, we'll do a little bow on top, little nautical bow. To make our bow, that's going to be super simple. So to go ahead and make a bow for this, I'm going to go ahead, I have this mesh. I like this mesh. So we're going to go ahead and use some of this mesh as the background, kind of behind. This I did get at the Dollar Tree. So we're going to use some of that. I'm going to go ahead and use some ribbons, random ribbons that I've got. This one was from the Dollar Tree. This one was probably from Hobby Lobby. And I believe that was also from the Dollar Tree. We're just going to mix and match. So what I'm going to do is just pinch these together. To make a loop. If any of you have a bow dabra, like this would definitely come in handy if you had one. Definitely recommend getting one. I plan on getting one eventually as well. Take black. This blue and red. This is like a navy blue and red. Alright, when I got all those together, I'm going to pinch it like so. I'm just going to take some twine and tie it off. Pull all my tails down to the bottom here. So I don't tails together. So we end up with our kind of a messy bow like that. Pull it right here at the top. Just gonna hold it down for a minute, make sure it stays. You want to trim up any of your tails. Now I got this big open gap here in the middle. Went ahead and I've got one of these. You could use a button, you could use, I mean, whatever you want, like some little charm of some sort. I could put a shell right there if I wanted to put a shell. I just happen to have one of these available. So I'm gonna go ahead and use it. Just hold that in place until it dries. All finished with that. So we've got our bow, we've got our anchor, we've got our shells, and we've got it all ready to go. Happy crafting.